Hey guys, how's it going? I recently had somebody ask me if I still thought a boot camp was a viable option for someone who is trying to get from a non-tech field into a tech career. And I'm not sure the answer is yes anymore. When I went through the boot camp process, it was pre-AI. There was no ChatGPT. AI tooling was very weak or non-existent. And boot camps helped me mostly by forcing that structure. It gave me a community and it gave me deadlines. Before that, I had been freelancing. I had been learning on my own, but I did struggle with the motivation to keep going, to come home after working my job, coding for a few hours in the evening when I wanted to relax. I loved doing it, but it was exhausting. And I realized that I needed that structure if I really wanted to get to where I am now. I had a deadline coming up where my son was being born in 6 months, so I knew if I wanted to pull this off, I was going to have to get serious about it, and I needed that structure. It did help me out in a lot of ways. We learned mental models. We learned how to think like a developer, so it was really helpful to get a project and have an end goal and an end deadline, and it forced me to think, okay, if I want to accomplish X with this project, here's what step 1 needs to be. Here's what step 2, 3, 4, and 5 need to be. I still use that to this day, especially in my job. So that was all very helpful. What's different now is that AI can code and it can debug and it can explain things way better than a lot of junior devs can now and 3 to 5 years ago. Free learning has exploded. There's YouTube tutorials. Udemy has a lot of great full curriculums, and ChatGPT and other AI models are 24/7 tutors whenever you need help or have a question. The hiring market is way tougher today than it was for me when I first got in. Junior roles are more and more expected to have real world experience. There's the common joke that you need to have 3 to 5 years of experience to get into your first job. And while that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, it's not far from the truth. People who are hiring are expecting you to come in with more than the ability to build a quick CRUD app. You need to have something that is live in the world and have experience already before they're willing to give you a look, because the job market is just so saturated right now. So should you still go to a boot camp if you want to break into a tech career? Maybe. Yes, if you still need that structure, you need that accountability, you need the network that comes with it, I think it's still a viable option. However, only if the bootcamp embraces AI and has taken steps towards building that into its curriculum. A lot of the projects that you're going to be working on will be aided with AI, but if you're just getting into it because you think you can copy paste the project into ChatGPT and have it do it for you, you're really kind of cheating yourself, doing yourself a disservice. So if you are ready to keep building and learning after the bootcamp is over, then I think it's still a viable option, because the certificate means almost nothing now. So you have to be responsible for your own work after the fact, but it does give you a nice structure. I would argue, however, that if you're self-motivated enough, you could get further along faster by building real-world projects with ChatGPT or other co-pilots, using YouTube tutorials, using Udemy as another example. And these are far cheaper options. And if you're self-motivated and pushing yourself through these options, I would argue that these options are on par with boot camps now. It just kind of depends on your personality. I recognized in myself that I kind of needed that structure, that I learned better in a school/boot camp environment. And if you realize that about yourself, then it's definitely still a viable option. There are really cool programs built into a lot of the boot camps. General Assembly, for example, the one I went into, had a great mentorship program that helped you learn how to build a resume, helped you learn how to network, how to reach out to companies, how to apply. And that was really helpful. And they stayed with you in that until you found a job, which was awesome. So if you feel like those things would be beneficial to you, then I would suggest going to a boot camp. If you feel like you could handle all of that yourself and handle building projects with ChatGPT and YouTube tutorials, then I think you would be better suited using that money elsewhere because it would be a far cheaper option. So the final research that you should do, don't blindly trust the marketing that you see on these bootcamp websites. Every one of them will boast a 99% placement rate within 6 months. Look into what that actually means. Is that after 2024 when AI has really burst into the scene, or are they pulling those numbers from pre-AI in 2021, 2022? Figure out if that bootcamp leverages AI or if it's turned a blind eye to it and pretends it doesn't exist. If it's not embracing AI and not building it into its curriculum, you want nothing to do with that bootcamp. Research the tech stack of that specific bootcamp and make sure that it aligns with what you want to do. If you're interested in the web stack, don't go to a bootcamp that's promoting Ruby on Rails. And finally, consider cheaper or modular alternatives first. If you feel like you can achieve the same curriculum by having ChatGPT build it for you, and you feel like you can follow along with that and be self-motivated and stick to it, then you can likely achieve similar or better results by yourself. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've gone to a bootcamp recently, I'd love to hear from you on how they're embracing AI. Are they using it more to catch people using it, or are they fully embracing it? And if you want to hear more content like this, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help the channel and helps me continue to make videos like this. Until next time, guys, talk to you later.